right after the class ended, her son went into a bathroom and found that the kids were rolling their sleeves down. And ultimately, these kids were putting swastikas on their arm. I have been in Denver for almost 23 years, but I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. We have a Jewish community of 7,000, so very small, tight-knit, close community. And I think when you are that small of a community, you don't have a choice but to be involved. And so I've just kind of had this incredible connection with being Jewish from the time I was born. It's kind of ingrained in me. I moved to Israel with my husband so that he could serve in the military, and I thought we were going for a year, and we stayed for 6. And we had twin daughters that were born in Israel. I guess it was difficult for me in many ways to live in Israel. It was just such a different environment for me, and one that if you told me today I could go there and live, I would sign me up. But at 22 years old, it was kind of the first time I'd ever been out of the country. And ultimately, my sister-in-law was outside of a restaurant that was blown up by a suicide bomber. And it was an Arab man that walked into an Arab restaurant. And so at that point, I'd already gone through 9/11 in Israel, and then this happened, and I just needed to come back to the US. I've always been very entrenched in the Jewish community here in Colorado, and something happened in our school district where a friend of mine had a child in middle school, and they had done a social studies class on the Holocaust. And right after the class ended, her son went into a bathroom and found that the kids were rolling their sleeves down. And ultimately, these kids were putting swastikas on their arms, and I don't know if they were pretending to be Nazis or whatever it was, but that led me to become what I call an accidental activist, and I just couldn't let something like that go, unacknowledged. And so within our school district, we went to a school board meeting and we brought 300 families, and everyone started talking about these anti-Semitic things that they had endured or their kids had that really no one was talking about. And as a result of that, the school district created an anti-Semitism task force, which was one of the asks that we as a community had asked for, so that we could have conversations with the school district on a district level about anti-Semitism and what exists. And looking back, because that was now 2 years ago, I wish that that's what consumed my time, because that was something where people actually believed that maybe anti-Semitism occurred and it was, not frequent, and they wanted to address it immediately. But I would say that post-October 7th, I wish the only thing we were dealing with were, kids putting swastikas on their arms because they didn't know better. And I would say now, our whole lives have turned upside down, I think I think that's a fair statement to make. Somebody said at a Shabbat dinner I was at what point do we pack our bags and leave, the way that our grandparents and great-grandparents did in Europe? And I'd never really thought of it like that. My daughter that's visiting now, we just came from Cherry Creek Mall, and she said, "Do you remember Black Friday, just this past November, when we were at the mall and this pro-Palestinian march, I guess, came through the mall?"
We're here at the Cherry Creek Mall right now. Today is not another normal day. I repeat, today is not another normal day. 4 days does not meet the standard. We are demanding a ceasefire from the people. We're demanding an end to aid to Israel.
Screaming, at the top of their lungs. And in that moment, I actually became somebody I didn't know, and I just started screaming back, "What about the hostages? What about the hostages? And what about Hamas? Like, you're right, free Palestine, but free them from Hamas." It feels like no one really wants to hear that. And I think that unfortunately so many people are no longer critical thinkers and take the, news bites or the TikTok or the YouTube news and not learning about who we are as a community and who we are as Jews and what we stand for. And so it's been very difficult, I think. In terms of these different pieces of myself that I've kind of come to know. I would say that I've become, like I said, an accidental activist on the one hand in terms of dealing with the school district, but on the other, having this voice that I feel like I have to share with so many others about what is happening to the Jewish community around the world. And I always say, it's a lot harder to hate people when you're sitting face to face or having conversations with them, or break bread together, and you'll find that we have so many more things in common. And so I would love for the Jewish community and the non-Jewish community to be able to just have conversations and ask questions without judgment and open themselves up to learning about each other. Because I think, again, we have so much more in common than we do that's different.